Let's go from basketball to Boston to Bryant. How do we do that? We're going to show you. There's coffee, there's chicken enchiladas. Join me, John Wilkerson, Ben Klein, and the fifth best food blogger in Little Rock, Kevin Shalin, as we welcome you to Bryant. We promise you there's something here.
Just to make a life.
Kevin, welcome again.
That was your worst intro to date, I gotta say.
Is it because of the fifth
Yeah,
best?
maybe.
It was Willie. Willie kind of
I
cut
do.
you off.
The music was great, though. Yeah.
He jumped in there at the last second.
You know, all the debate that we had for what song to use this time, and it worked out.
Well, it's true. We started the day at Speakeasy Coffee, which we'll get to in a second. But our day in Bryant with the mayor, with the city administration, started off really in Boston, that we'll get to in a second, of course. But it was an eventful day in Bryant. I know you and I have known Bryant for a long time. It's right there down the street. It's basically, well, it's probably closer than Cabot is, but it's right there in Central Arkansas. And you have been talking about Bryant for a long time, Kevin. And first impressions, I'm going to ask both of you this. First impressions, when you think of Bryant, what do you think of? And you have some experience. So what do you think of when you first think of Bryant?
Well, I used to think of just a chain capital of this, area or the state, but that has certainly changed. We're in my field in food. I'm so happy with what's going on there with mom and pop places that are really starting to come along and thrive, and not just for that community, but people in Little Rock are willing to make that drive. So those are the places I think about, and like the first one we visited.
Mm-hmm. Ben, what about you?
I mean, I think as of past decade or so, it's when you think Bryant, you think football. I mean, they've been really, really, really good on their high school football team. But I mean, kind of along with Kevin, I used to think it was just kind of a gateway or a chain store utopia, but really it's starting to develop a sense of its own. I think a lot of cities are, and it's really exciting to see.
Yeah, I agree. I've obviously traveled to Bryant many times over the years. I know Bryant fairly well. I know Benton probably better, but it was a treat to go there. And when I brought up the idea of going to Bryant, you instantly were like, yes, this makes a ton of sense, because that transition, and Michael at Speakeasy, which we'll get to first, he talked about that transition as well.
Yeah, I've been going out there a lot in the last couple of years, where I used to just go like maybe once every 3 or 4 years. And now I feel like I'm out there like once a month. And so, yeah, when you brought it, the idea of kind of staying in our backyard and checking out Bryant and meeting with the mayor, I was all for it.
So when you think of restaurants in Bryant now, outside of the chains, we're thinking of Speakeasy Coffee, and they have a good food selection as well.
Yeah.
Rook was another one?
Yeah, Rook, which is the Indian-Italian fusion, which I love. It's right on the interstate on 30 there. Really enjoyed that spot. Enjoy Shawarma, which has a location on Highway 5, very close to Speakeasy Cafe, and they're about to open another location in Little Rock. I'm excited about that. You've got Different Dough Pizza, which is one of the better pizza spots in Central Arkansas. And then you've got Blue House Bakery. You've got Azteca Taqueria, which is around the corner. You've got Sugar Dumplings, Cupcakes. So there's lots of really good options, and they're all like within 2 or 3 minutes of each other.
Now, I want to take a side note here on Rook, because I've never been to Rook, but my wife, Zara went to Rook and brought food back to me probably last year. And she brought me chicken tikka lasagna. I think it's chicken tikka lasagna. It was an Indian-Italian mix.
Yeah.
And she reminded me how much I loved it. And I remember now having it. And it was leftovers, but it was still fantastic. So having an Italian-Indian mix anywhere in the country, but especially in Bryant, Arkansas, I thought was really telling.
I've never had anything like it. And again, yeah, you're right. Like, to be located in Bryant, it's really kind of eye-opening, and I want them to embrace that restaurant even more, because it is very unique. And I'm kind of reminded, I hadn't been there in a year, and I went like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, man, this food is incredible. And I can complain and wish that it was in Little Rock, but I'm thankful that it's only 20 minutes away in Bryant, and I hope that community really keeps embracing it.
What I really liked about our trip to Bryant was the connections that we had with Bryant without really having connections to Bryant. And basketball we'll get to in a second, but I'll start with Speakeasy. And for us in Argenta, because we're close to Argenta, there was Muggs Cafe and Muggs Coffee, which was there for 15 years ago maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael, who now owns Speakeasy in Bryant, started there. And I loved Muggs, but when he owned it. And it was nice to go talk to him first at Speakeasy in Bryant because that's been open for 10 years. So that connection between us and Muggs and now Bryant, I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, and Michael's a really cool guy. I've known him for a while now, and when you meet him or when you see him when you walk into the place, he's kind of this gruff motorcycle-looking guy. But beneath that exterior, he's a really nice person, and he's someone that I've enjoyed getting to know more and more through the years. And he had such a great thing going here in Argenta, where we shoot this podcast, and then he relocated and took. And Muggs became Speakeasy Cafe out in Bryant, and I was wondering if this concept's gonna work in Bryant, and because he took a chance on the town before, these were the days when I was telling you I didn't go out there very much,
Mm-hmm.
and it's people like him that have really helped transform that food scene there.
And to both of your points about Bryant, when you think about Bryant, you thought of chain restaurants first. 10 years ago, Michael started Speakeasy, and I asked him, I think you asked him or I asked him, why you're in Bryant. He says, because nothing else was out here at the time. And so I don't know if he saw the potential for Bryant back then, or it was already burgeoning and I just didn't know it. But for him to take that chance in Bryant and develop something that's it's a healthy business, to say the least. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's a very healthy business. Not the day withstanding that we were there, but it was kind of empty on a Tuesday. But I would swear, you go in there 9 times out of 10, you can barely get in the place, and it is really a popular spot. I don't know, Ben, have you been out to Speakeasy? I'll put you on the spot.
I have not. I want to now. You guys have kind of sold it for me. I got to go check it out. I've spent some time in downtown Benton, but I have not spent time in Bryant like I should. So I'm really ready to listen in and get some places.
Well, before we move on with other topics, I do want to put a plug. It is a great coffee shop. And I'm going to send you the picture, Ben, so you can put it up when I'm about to mention it. But they've got great food. And the highlight, in my opinion, of their menu is this birria grilled cheese. It is phenomenal. Yeah. Phenomenal.
I'm sold.
Yeah. So here it is. Ba-ding. You'll see it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Now, before we leave Speakeasy, what I like about us talking together is that we focus on cities, but we focus on food and food purveyors or entrepreneurs or whatever it may be. And I remember I talked to him about this when we were there, Michael, that is, about the brownies at Muggs, which my wife makes amazing brownies. And the only ones that I've ever thought were comparable were the ones from Muggs. And he said, we're talking about it. He goes, really, it's not that, it's not super complicated. I said, yes, but what you did is you underbaked the brownies. Mm-hmm. And to that point, that got us talking about the cranberry sliders from back at Muggs. And I'm saying all that to say he kept it simple. He was highlighting that. But he does the simple really, really well. And underbaking a brownie and letting the residual heat do the rest of the work, that's a simple thing, but you have to have confidence to underbake anything. And he had it. And I'm not surprised that Speakeasy's food is good as well.
Yeah, it really, if you're listening to this, watching it, go and try the food. You will not be disappointed.
So Michael was great. Speakeasy was great. Go to Speakeasy. And the way he talked about Bryant, and he felt too that transition, I could tell, because he said that it's a chain-dominated city, but now it started transitioning into more small, burgeoning businesses. Or how would you describe that as a food writer?
Small burgeoning businesses, not just food. I mean, they're all kind of located, like I said, very in close proximity of one another. But the challenge is there's not a true downtown in Bryant. We discussed this. It's something that I think we've been to Cabot. We've had episodes on an episode on Cabot, and these are two towns that I think share some similarities. Not only their proximity to Little Rock, but just that it's an uphill battle as far as creating a community, a culture in wherever that may be, because they don't have a traditional downtown.
Right. Now, to transition into the city, but stick with Michael just for a little bit longer, he noticed the change in the sort of chain to smaller mom and pops locations, and he also noticed the change in city leadership that they were embracing. We talked to the mayor about this as well, and he acknowledged and appreciated that people are seeing that transition as well. But real quick before, because you're going to talk about this with the mayor in a second as well, you started talking about this incubator sort of idea where you're cultivating cottage industries or cottage bakers. And can you talk a little bit more about your idea?
Yeah, there was a space that the mayor was talking about. We used to be a former business, and I just kind of told him, like, in my experience with food blogging, I've noticed that there are a lot of cottage bakers in this area, and specifically in the Saline County area. And I suggest that maybe he wanted to follow up and see if they could do like a rotating thing within this space where maybe a cottage baker could take over for like 3 months and try to develop a following, more of a following, and then, move on and give that space to the next cottage baker. So it's kind of an incubator, so to speak. And he seemed like that was an idea that might be successful. So, I'm happy to help, put all the pieces together with all that, because I think there are a lot of people. I feel like I'm going out there pretty regularly picking up cinnamon rolls. I was out there a couple weeks ago, and it's fun. I love supporting cottage bakers, but I also think it's important to give them more of a platform so they can build a more substantial following.
Yeah, no, I like that about your food writing, is that you're highlighting every business that you can and are interested in how they're going to continue to grow in each city and each region that you deal with. So we get to Bryant City Hall, and we walk in, and the first thing I remember is somebody said, well, there's a dog here running around. I forgot whose dog it was. The dog's name is Boston, which I didn't know. I mean, why you're naming a dog Boston, I didn't really, think anything of it until I walked to the mayor's office.
I was going to say, that became very apparent.
Yes. His love for basketball, like I mentioned in the intro, and Boston was apparent from, let's just say, the moment we walked in.
Yeah, and it proved to be like one of many, many things that I had in common with this mayor, Ben. I mean, like, I never know what to expect when, I walk into a room and I meet the mayor for the first time, and it's happened many, many times now that we've been doing this podcast. But this guy, Ben, I can safely say we will never meet a mayor in this state that I will have more in common with.
Yeah.
He's after your own heart, Kevin.
Yeah. I mean, me and this guy, I was like, had thoughts of like, okay, we could kick John out and he could replace you.
Yeah.
And
we've been trying to lose John for years.
I think this is the guy to do it.
Yeah, that's fair. After that poor intro.
Yeah.
Especially after the intro.
That's the time.
I think this is the guy to do it. Mayor Treat, I think, if you're listening, you should be listening because this podcast is about you.
Well, you get Mayor Treat. I'm taking Jordan Reynolds, who is the one that put all this together. She's from Sheridan, but she was there. And I felt bad for Jordan, who's named after Michael Jordan, as the story goes. I'm not sure if that's a real story or not, but I appreciate it. She's the one that set this up. She's the communications director for Bryant. And she's sitting there with us the whole time while we're really geeking out about basketball. And I thought, oh, poor Jordan. She's clearly not interested in this conversation. But we went on and on about basketball. And I do want to emphasize this or highlight this, because basketball, you and I know how much it means to us. I think you more than me. But your dad was a coach. My dad took me to Euler games when I was a baby. And so basketball means a lot to us, and I learned a lot of life lessons from basketball. And I felt that Mayor Treat did. Chris Treat, by the way, is the mayor. Mayor Treat did as well, and that connection between the three of us, you and him more than me, was important.
Well, I joke, but you every bit as us, because it shaped our lives. Basketball has shaped our lives, and listening to him say many things that I would say through the years to other people. He said a line that I've said so many times, like, I grew up in a gym, and that's the truth. I mean, I spent all my free time in a gymnasium, wiping the court or doing scoreboard or even reffing or playing, certainly. So, I mean, to hear some of the things he said, it really resonated with me. And you see, it really does shape the people we've become, these lessons, sports. There's so many things to draw from sports.
Now, you think there's no connection between basketball and Bryant, but there is. I don't know if everybody knew this, but they are the two-time defending state champs in basketball. But that wasn't the state championship that became the dominant discussion point. They won the state championship in 1980-81 season, where Mayor Treat's dad was the coach. And by all accounts, a phenomenal coach, phenomenal man, phenomenal father. And you could tell Mayor Treat thought just the world of his father. But to see the banner, it's like a mini banner on the Bryant, Bryant winning the state championship in 1981, and then for the mayor to become the mayor and then win state championships again, I could feel how much that meant for him, that his city the state championship team that he watched is now the state championship team that he's watching today as mayor.
Yeah, Ben, it's not just a football town.
Yeah,
Okay.
I stand corrected.
Yeah. The basketball is prominent front and center, and I imagine it will continue to be under this mayor's leadership.
That's right. If he has anything to do about it,
Yeah,
I think.
that's right.
We'll get to the story about him and his brother in the regional championship game here in a second. That was a good basketball story, but Jordan was important to this conversation because she's from Sheridan. And I remember last time when we went to Sheridan, we noticed how much the school dominates the feel of the town. It is the driver, I think, of a lot of the population growth. Bryant has a phenomenal school system and a phenomenal sports program. So it's not just basketball, it's not just football. Soccer has become big. All lacrosse apparently is a thing now in Bryant. So it was interesting to see how much emphasis they place on sports as part of the identity of the city of Bryant.
Yeah, it's their main hub, so to speak. Like every town we go into is different, but there are some similarities in a few of them. And yeah, you're right about that. We see a little Sheridan, we see a little Cabot, but then when you put how close it is to Little Rock, so you've got families, maybe relocating out there for sports, things like that. So yeah, they're really their school system is front and center, and it's what makes their industry. It's their industry,
Hey, by the way, what do you call your fan club members? Are they going to be the Mighty Ribbons? I like that one.
No,
The Ribbonites.
The Ribbonites.
Ribber. No, Ribber's not good.
I like ribbons.
No.
Do you have a name? Oh my God, you have a name.
No, I don't.
He needs one. He needs a name.
No, I don't have a name.
Come on. He's got a name.
I don't have a
He's got a
name.
name. He's got a name.
I've got
He's got
no
a name. All right. The only reason I bring it up is that I don't want to upset the Mighty Ribbons or whatever the fan club's called. When I describe Kevin as the fifth best food blogger, that's been our gag for a long time. So I said this in front of the mayor and Jordan. And Jordan, sweet Jordan, she stops and she says, Does he really mean you're the fifth best food blogger in Midtown Little Rock? I was like, no. It's a joke.
Yeah.
The mayor got it. The mayor thought they were just ribbing each other.
Yeah.
Mighty
Ooh.
Rivers. That's it. We got it. Anyway.
It's not. We don't have it. I don't call them the Mighty Rivers, by the way, nor will I ever. But go ahead. Continue.
So before the Mighty Rivers or Ribbons get after me, it's a joke. You are a phenomenal food writer. Just say this because it's true. Phenomenal food writer. The way you care about food and the way food interacts with cities and communities is really phenomenal. So I appreciate Jordan sort of starting to stand up for you.
She was standing up
Yeah.
for me.
Yes,
She's like,
she
how
was.
dare you? Do you know this man?
She had a Mighty Ribbon on. So that makes
Yeah,
sense.
she did.
Yeah.
So it was a good conversation with the mayor. I will say for all the sports fans out there, the coolest thing that the mayor had in his office. I'm using my phone as an example, but when you walk into his office in the corner, there's this shrine to Boston. Actually, the first thing I said was, "I'm sorry, I forgot I had a meeting," and started to get up because I'm a Lakers fan. So I was giving him some grief. But in the corner, he had looked like a playing card.
Yeah.
And on it, Ben, this was phenomenal to me. So it's a playing card with it shows how well it's rated, and instead of an actual card, there's highlights of Larry Bird.
Yeah.
It was an NFT.
An NFT, it's called, and they're very limited. And I don't know, like the one he had was extremely limited, so it's valuable. And I love sports memorabilia. Again, another thing we have in common. We were already trying to set up a guy's trip to Memphis,
Yes.
to go watch a Grizzlies
Watching the
game.
Grizzlies.
Yeah. So this is the kind of guy we're talking about, Ben. Just keep your calendar open. Maybe the four of us can
All
do
right.
it.
So just to give you a sense of Mayor Treat, he is former Parks director, but the story about Larry Bird, which we have our own Larry Bird story,
Yes.
With Glenn Rice, we won't tell here, but you did ask us to tell it there, and we did. But he says, Mayor Treat says that I bought enough of these NFTs, or I had the collection, and it earned me a hour Zoom call with Larry Bird.
Yeah.
And so he has an hour, actually it goes over, with Larry Bird, and Larry Bird says to the mayor, he said, well, the next time you see Joe Klein, who played for Arkansas and owns the Corkies here, part owner of Corkies, Larry Bird says, next time you see him, say hello. So the next time the mayor sees him is when Joe Klein is giving a speech at a chamber banquet, I think.
Yeah.
And there's time for questions, and the mayor rises up and says, hey, by the way, Joe, last time I talked to Larry, he told me to tell you hi.
Via Zoom.
That was Jordan. Okay. Let me
It's
talk
a
about
phenomenal name drop.
Yeah.
That's great.
Let me talk about Jordan Reynolds again here. So She didn't get the fifth. I mean, she thought maybe I was serious, but when the mayor told that story, she goes, "Did you tell him it was over Zoom?"
Yeah, she did.
Zing.
I thought that was a good one. Yeah. That dynamic was fun. I enjoyed hanging out with both of them.
Yeah.
So we talk about the infrastructure. I got to get to city stuff too. Bryant is growing leaps and bounds. And so the mayor has a 20-year goal. It's part of the Bryant Leap Forward. They have some bond programs, and they're really focusing on streets, stormwater, parks, public safety. It was all stuff that makes a city a city. And I'm curious because you talk about food and basketball, and I'm there. When we talk about city stuff, I'm always curious as to how you're listening to this and what you're taking away from that discussion.
Well, I think they want to have more things, and I think it sounds like they tried this in the past. They want to draw people to Bryant, and I think they're trying to do different things to do that. And but it's going to be a challenge. But they have something working for them in their close proximity to Little Rock, and I think they realize that. And there's going to have to be more than just good restaurants and bars or whatnot in a place. And I think they recognize that, and they got to make it happen. And I think it's going to take a while. But at this stage, to me, it seems like they're still building on it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And John, you said they were working on infrastructure and things like that, and that's the not fun stuff that you have to put in, like stormwater, streetscape, make sure people can get around town without lots of congestion and choke points. But if you do it before the boom comes, or before all the infill and those stores and restaurants come, it'll pay dividends for years and years. Because you can see cities that grow first with like stores and restaurants, and then they try to think about infrastructure, and it doesn't feel quite right. So there's definitely a difference in putting the work in now and doing that kind of stuff. It'll pay off later for sure.
I completely agree. And Bryant doesn't have really much of a downtown. The Walmart is the downtown, as was described by both Michael and the mayor.
Yeah.
But to have them recognize that and try to build something in some spot to create some sort of center of gravity, so to speak, was really good. Was really good to hear. Hey, Ben, you'll love this part because you've been going on our regional meetings about cooperation and regionalism, and so for those of you who don't know, we've gone around the state recently and we're highlighting the way cities can come together and cooperate together. Well, I asked him the question, Ben, about do you the connection to Little Rock, and he goes, really the connection is not really with Little Rock, but so much as it is with Cabot, Maumelle, Searcy, even, and maybe even Sherwood, probably Jacksonville. And it was interesting because he described their regionalism as regionals of the satellites of Little Rock, so to speak, or suburbs of Little Rock. And it was interesting for him to think about it in those terms and how close he is to Mayor Farmer in Benton, who he says is old offensive line guy who was just a fantastic person. So it was neat to hear him talk about the satellites around Little Rock.
And it's like, so it can be so easy to start thinking about competition, especially when in small towns, it's all high school football. And of course, they're all playing each other and things like that. But, the idea that not everybody has to have the same things in your city, and you don't have to do it better than the city next to you. You can work with, like if someone else has something cool going on, you don't have to try and outdo them. You can do something different. And that's a really cool point of what came out of those meetings. And when you see it work well, it's really exciting.
And the thing I love to hear from the mayor the most, and I really didn't know, and I think you asked him this question, or you brought up the topic, is they get along with Bryant and they work together. And I didn't know that, if that was the case.
Yeah.
And I think that is going to be critically important moving forward, is to really embrace Saline County, not just Bryant or Benton. People like me that didn't live here, grow up here, you never really know where the lines are blurred.
Right.
Sometimes I don't know whether I'm in Bryant or Benton,
right.
and I don't know where one begins and one ends. But it was nice to hear, like, hey, they are working together, and maybe that is the key, because Benton does have a really nice downtown.
Yeah.
So if they can maximize that and draw people from both areas into certain places, I think that's going to be important. And it was really nice to hear from the mayor, like, yeah, we work together, and I didn't know that was the case.
And what I really have loved about going around the state, especially spending a lot of time in Northwest Arkansas, and I've heard this from Northwest Arkansas cities forever, the Mayor Hines in Rogers, Ben, you know him very well. He will say what's good for Springdale is good for Rogers. What's good for Bentonville is good for Fayetteville, and they're all in it together. The mayor Mayor Treat had the same attitude towards it. Back to the Buc-ee's. To the Buc-ee's. He says the Buc-ee's is not in Bryant, but having the Buc-ee's is going to help Bryant. Not in the same way that it's going to help Benton necessarily, but it's going to help the region. And I think he looks at this as maybe not Northwest Arkansas, but Northwest Arkansas in the sense of all the cities coming together and forming a regional sort of alliance, so to speak, which exists already, but really enhancing it and leaning into it.
Mm. And did you know, Ben, that Bryant is the geographic center of this state?
Really?
There's even a monument dedicated to it, which Jordan took us to. That was very nice of her, and it's going to appear on your screen right now. Ding. Got a great picture of it. I did not. I'd driven past that thing probably a 1,000 times and didn't even know it, and it was nice to stop and take a picture of it. But yes, that is the geographic
right
center.
Here?
That is it.
Hey.
Aha!
Yeah.
Dang.
There it is.
Look at that.
We didn't even have to do that in
built
post.
like in the 30s,
we did it
right?
live.
Yeah, 1933 by the Daughters of the American Revolution, Daughters of the American Colonists, I think is what it was, which I never heard of that group.
Well, right in that area, I could be wrong, so someone might correct me, but that was called like Collegeville, and that was at one time supposed to be like what Fayetteville has become. It was like between the two, and it ended up going to Fayetteville, but that was where University of Arkansas was originally, I think, planned, or at least there was a debate on the two areas. Could you imagine how different
Yeah, that's
our
wild.
state would be?
Yeah.
But there it is. That's the center of Arkansas.
There you
right
go.
there.
Which became the running kind of theme of the day was center of Arkansas, center
Yeah.
of the world. Then you
Center of the
transformed
world.
it,
Yeah.
center of the universe.
Yeah, there you go.
So it was good. It was a great day in Bryant. I really enjoyed it. The downside, however, was I'm just going to put this on you, promising me some of the best cupcakes in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Where
I
was
failed.
this again?
It was Sugar Dumplings,
Sugar Dumplings.
bake shop, and right off Highway 5. I've been there a lot. They make this like Hostess. You know what? You remember when we were kids and you had the Hostess cupcakes, and they were so good. I don't know if they taste good now, but they have created this into their own version. It is fantastic, and I wanted to take you there because you get a sweet tooth. After lunch at Blue House, where I had a club. What you had enchiladas? I think?
Enchiladas. I want to talk about the enchiladas.
Yeah, that
too.
place was full, and it's a big, beautiful spot. I talk about another eatery that's embraced by that community. But afterwards, we went to Sugar Dumplings, and they were closed on Tuesday.
So, Ben, imagine you're with the fifth best food blogger in Midtown
Right.
Little Rock.
I mean, I can't.
And he tells you that the best cupcakes, he mentions the best cupcakes, not just to you, but to the mayors. These are the best cupcakes in Arkansas. Mm-hmm. And you have a meeting in the morning with the mayor. You're talking about it. You're all through lunch. In fact, Blue House Bakery has a bakery, as you might imagine, is in the
Right.
title. It's not just a clever name. I don't get a sweet there
He's
because I'm
holding off.
looking
He's
forward.
waiting.
I'm waiting with
Yeah.
anticipation of this cupcake. And I ask him, "Are you sure they're open?" Yeah, they're open.
Gotta be.
They were
Tuesday.
not.
Gotta
They were
be.
not open.
He was not. It saved me a little heartbreak because here's the thing, Ben. When we're out and about like this, and he gets a sweet tooth, and I recommend a place, he tries it, and inevitably he's like, "It's not better than Zara's," and he's right. But
Yeah, that's true.
He always says it to me, so it's like he's setting me up to just bring me down. And again, like he's right. Her stuff is phenomenal. But
Must be nice.
I'm just trying to have a good time and take him to a place, and he's like, "Yeah, these are good, but not Zara's."
Well, at least I got to try it. Usually,
Yeah.
not this time.
I hope Zara's going to watch this and know
Is-
how much he
Is Zara's
truly
Bakery
loves
closed
your
on
stuff.
Tuesdays?
I hope she does too. She should know. I tell her what time. What'd you
Yeah.
say, Ben?
I said, is Zara's Bakery closed on Tuesdays, or is it always open?
It's
24?
always open.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always open.
So.
It's amazing. The cake scraps that she makes, just the cake that she makes and the scraps from it, she's like dicing it up to make it look nice.
I had a great. She made me a great chocolate cake the other day, and again, like her stuff is phenomenal. But yes, we were disappointed. They were not open. But I pivoted. Do we want to transition?
Well,
Are we done with Brian? I don't want
No,
to.
we're not.
Okay.
Well, we got to talk about Blue House Bakery. I
Okay.
skipped ahead. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
the
that's
fifth-
your fault.
I'm the fifth best podcaster in this building. So
Now that is accurate. That is no joke.
you try doing what I do.
Yeah. In this building.
It's not hard, folks. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I just talking to a camera.
Yeah.
Like I know what I'm talking about. No, Blue House Bakery, which I talked to Zara. She had been there 4 other times, and she had told me about it, and I just forgot. And it lived up to the hype. It was good. It's
Yeah.
really, really good.
Again, Ben, have you ever been? You
I still have to go to Bryant.
Okay.
I'm
All
batting. I'm over on it.
okay?
Okay.
Blue House Bakery, though.
All
That's
right.
it.
Blue House Bakery, big, beautiful, open air. It's not
yes.
open air, but open space. and modern, and it's just really, like, how many years has it been open? I guess probably 4 or 5 now, maybe more. It's just, people love it, and for good reason. It's just a fun place to meet folks and hang out and have business meetings, and their food is really good. So they've really, like, they've connected with Bryant and the surrounding area. So I thought that was a good decision where to eat on Tuesday.
Yeah, you know,
they were open.
You know, it was a poor decision is not getting a sweet treat from there, because I was told.
Yes.
Anyway, but no, the baked goods look great too. But let me talk about the food. I'm not usually the food guy here. You are. I couldn't decide what to get because it all looked really good. I decided to get the chicken enchiladas because nothing says chicken enchiladas like Blue House Bakery in the middle of Bryant.
Yeah.
Now, I got them, and they were good. Here's what I realized about chicken enchiladas. This may be a hot food take. Ben, does your mother, grandmother ever make chicken enchiladas? Wife, maybe?
Yeah, we've made them a couple times.
Okay, here's what I've realized. There's chicken enchiladas from a legit Mexican restaurant, and there's a chicken enchiladas your grandmother makes.
Yeah.
And they made the chicken enchiladas your grandmother made, and my goodness, they were perfect.
They're both good for different reasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trios does that too. They
Yes,
have
they
chicken
do.
enchiladas. And you're right. They're the enchiladas your mom or grandma or grandfather made. And completely agree. And I think it's smart. You know, I think that was their special for the day. I always lean towards restaurants like that trying out their specials. During the colder months, they do a chicken and dumplings that's just wonderful. And I think it's gotten a little too warm, so they're not making them anymore. But if that was on the menu that day, I would have ordered them. But I'm glad you liked your chicken enchiladas. I have not eaten that there.
And I'll dive in a little bit more quick because I've thought about the chicken enchiladas quite a bit.
Have you?
Yes. Because
Couldn't tell.
there was nothing else on the menu that had any sort of Mexican flair to it, Mexican food flair to it. But I thought the confidence to put chicken enchiladas on the menu, I'm following that confidence.
I mean, to get inside John's
right.
brain, this makes so much sense. This
Yes.
is on brand for you. It really is. It really is.
Now, because this was a strange episode in the sense of there's so many different connection points that just sort of come out of nowhere. Here's the final one. Jordan Reynolds is with us, and Jordan looks over across Blue House, and says, "I think that's my English teacher."
Yeah.
And we're all like, "She does," but we're like, "Go ask her." But she's like, "No, I'm not gonna do it yet." And we're all like, "What's her name?" And she goes, "I'm not telling you because you'll go over there and do it." And
Smart.
she was right because at the end of the meal, she gets up and goes talks to the woman, and it was the English teacher from her days in Sheridan.
Yeah.
It was such a strange connection point all around.
And it was perfect timing on her part because she got out of saying goodbye to us. If you
She
remember
did.
that.
I think that's why.
And that was a brilliant move.
That
know
was
what?
not her English teacher. That
Yeah.
was just a clever excuse.
Yeah.
100% chance. She's like,
And
hey,
when I
play
say
along.
us,
I got to get out of
It's
here.
dawning on me now.
Yeah, when I say got out of saying goodbye to us, I meant John.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I did mention the regional basketball story. And Mayor, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry that I'm retelling your stories. You can tell them better than I can, obviously. But Jordan, at the very end of our lunch, says, "I can't believe, Mayor, you went all day without telling them the story." And obviously we're in now. Like, what's the story?
Yeah.
The story goes that the mayor who's playing on the Bryant basketball team with his brother is in the conference championship, and the mayor hits the game-winning shot. That's a good story to tell. I'd tell it every day of the week and twice on Sunday if I could. But the sub-story is even better because apparently as the mayor tells it, his brother was on the team, older brother, I think, hits the game-winning shot to tie it, to go into overtime, and then the mayor Treat hits the game-winning shot to win it. And so apparently the family tale is if you want to tie a game, you go ask the uncle. If you want to win a game, you ask me.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a brilliant
That's
story.
pretty good.
I love that basketball story.
Yeah.
I think he should use it in his next campaign, like Mayor Treat is a winner.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he can back it up.
My brother is a tire.
Yeah.
That's what he's.
I'm a winner. Yeah.
Poor brother. If you're listening, brother, I'm sorry.
That's
you gotta-
classic
you
older
got-
brother trope, though. Like,
Yeah.
he got him there, and then the younger
Yes.
brother wins the whole thing.
Stepped over him
Yeah.
to get the glory. I'm sorry, brother. You're right. Yeah.
See, we don't even know his name. We don't even know.
No, he's just the
We're
guy.
just calling him brother. I'm sorry, brother.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Like a
Mayor
Hulk
Treat's
Hogan
brother.
of brother.
Yeah. I wonder
Brother.
in my mind, I'm looking into the future, how this is going to go over in the Bryant City Hall. They're listening
Yeah, I
to
don't
this.
think they're going to be sharing this. I don't think the chamber is going to be sharing this.
This one's for us.
Yeah.
But it really, I mean, to leave Bryant, it was fantastic to talk to the mayor. I really loved the basketball part of it. Jordan was fantastic. The food was great everywhere. Michael was great at Speakeasy. Again, so many connection points for us personally in many different ways, and it really goes to show what a place that's near your home, what it means to you, and sometimes you don't even realize it. But Bryant, I realized means more to me than I thought, honestly, because it's apparently ubiquitous in my entire life.
Well, it fits with our podcast theme. There's something there. It's always fun to go check these places out and figure that out for ourselves.
Now, that is the outro music. But I'm going to...
Oh,
Ben.
jump the gun. Oh,
So...
it felt right.
He's trying to send a message.
It felt right.
Yeah,
I'm
it
sorry,
did.
it felt right.
He's doing this for Jordan. Like, Jordan's tired of hearing this crap. She's like, come
I
on.
think about English teachers over there.
Why would you step on
wrap
Ben?
this
He
up.
did time that perfectly.
I know.
And-
I know. Well, it's perfect because, the best way to end a day in Bryant is to go to Mableville.
Yeah, that's true.
That was Kevin's idea. It's like when we went to Bald Knob on the way to Cersei, which is not on the way to Cersei.
Yeah.
But, okay, so I don't have my sweet treat because Kevin, ambushed or sabotaged the whole day. So he decides, and
Quickly, might
Great.
I add. Like
Great
on
idea.
a dime.
to go to 3 Sam's in Mableville.
Yeah.
And we didn't get the brisket, which you say is amazing, and I'm sure and the smoked chicken.
Smoked
right?
chicken. The brisket is not amazing. It's the smoked chicken and the beans and the onion rings and the club sandwich. Maybe their brisket's good. I don't know if it's amazing.
Okay, it's good.
It's good. But
Okay.
but their desserts are amazing.
That's why we
and
went.
That's why we went, and
Yeah.
that's why I came up with it on the dime. And I'm like, look, we're going back home. We're going to do this. You're going to like it.
Right. So we had peanut butter pie.
Mm-hmm.
He had a double, triple chocolate cookie.
Yeah.
And then, which the peanut butter pie, I'm a big peanut butter pie fan. And
Yeah.
I thought it was fantastic. On the way out, though, the owner, or
Andrew
is
Yeah.
there. Great dude.
Yeah.
Understands food, I could tell. He says, my mom just made a lemon, a
Key
key lime
lime.
icebox
Yeah.
pie. I'm a huge fan of key lime. Ben, key lime, yay or nay?
I like it.
All right, Kevin.
Didn't try
Of
it.
course. Love
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So I brought it home, and it was...
not better than Czars.
I was supremely disappointed. No, it was fantastic.
No,
I
it was good,
It was
yeah.
so good, and it was the tart kind. Like, it was sweet, but
Yeah.
it was also tart.
And simple. And it was more like an icebox pie.
It was.
It wasn't
It was.
your typical key lime pie with
Yeah.
like that kind of crust dominant.
Yeah.
No, I liked it. It was a little bit of my late night snack. It was good.
It was I really enjoyed
But-
it. I had another one the next day at Ridgewood Barbecue, by the way.
Yeah.
Very different,
Yeah.
but both very, very good. Ridgewood Barbecue, by the way, in Russellville. It's a fantastic barbecue spot.
Who recommended that to you?
It was you.
Yeah, it was
See,
me.
that's why you're the best.
Yeah,
that's
that's it.
exactly why you're
Or
the best.
fifth best.
All right, now I've got a new segment I'm introducing right now on the fly. I'm going to working title is I'm just going to end it and say the menu.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
just our last chance to talk about something not random, but something.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
like it.
that's it. It's my instructions to y'all. Let's talk about something. No.
Yeah. Go.
Okay. Now, real quick, a recent food thing that you've had, meal or a service, something that was a little bit unique, but also memorable since the last time we talked.
That's a layup for me for this one because I had the best meal of my life in Mexico City a few weeks ago at a place called Quintonil, and it was phenomenal. The service, the food, everything, without question, I can say that for a fact. It was the best meal I've ever had. Now it's going to be it was a 4-hour experience, but Michelin's, I think, 2-star rated restaurant. So that's the one for me.
Wow.
It was special, and I'll never forget it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
you swung for the fences
I feel
there.
like I feel like I
Follow that.
I should have started with you and I, Ben. 'cause
Yeah.
Mine's about a
Feel set
casino.
up now.
Mine's about a
Yeah.
casino in Oklahoma. But all right,
All right.
it's there's no. That was a great experience.
There's nothing there.
I didn't know you
Hey,
were going to
Ben-
set the bar that high.
Ben,
but-
can you?
Yeah,
end
I'm going
it
to bring us
Yeah.
back home. I'm going to do like
Back with
more of the people. On Friday, I went to jazz at Moody Brews. They have a jazz night on Friday nights, and it was awesome. Super cool atmosphere. They had, obviously Moody Brews was there. Smashed and Stacked was there, which is where I got my dinner. Amazing burger. And me and my kids and wife hung out there and enjoyed some jazz music. So
I think my buddy Dave Williams plays there. I think he's on the sax.
I think that's who it was.
He's wonderful. Talk about a great guy. Wow.
What's
really
his name?
Fun. Dave Williams. His dad used to own Dave's Place in downtown, the restaurant. I love that family. I'm sure it was him on the sax. I've seen him play there before. That you're right. I mean, it's no Michelin the 2-star restaurant, but I love what they've done with Petaway and like creating that like family and atmosphere with the music. It's really cool.
It was so cool because like not only were we there, we just were there, in the courtyard, but people had come out of their houses, that surround the square, and we just had their feet propped up. It was such a cool place, and highly recommend go to jazz on Fridays at Moody Brews.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
All right.
So you went to a casino in Oklahoma?
I flew to Norway.
Okay. I had a Michelin 3-star restaurant.
3-star. Yeah, it was smoked salmon, all different ways. It was really amazing. Yeah. The whipped cream on it was no big deal. Yeah, Sven was great. Shout out to Sven if you're listening. Yeah. No.
I feel like I'm the only person that really did this justice.
I should note that this episode should have been over 10 minutes ago. We had the outro music going.
It was perfect. We had it.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Doug. Tell us.
Yeah.
So I was driving from Bentonville to Oklahoma City. I was looking. It's not even. It's funny that it's not funny. I was just looking for a place to eat.
Yeah.
As one does.
I stopped at a casino and had a great. Okay.
You really should have gone first. Let's just say it.
I had a great salmon salad.
Wow. Did they sear it? Was that salmon seared?
It was.
All right.
Indigo's. Never mind. You know what? Okay, Indigo Sky Casino. Let me get it out. Indigo Sky Casino had a great salmon salad. I didn't expect it. It's in Northeast Oklahoma. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, got it out. Now he's better. He's better now.
Can we do the?
Oh, please
do
go.
the outro? It's out.
All right. Well,
a merciful ending.
Go to Bryant, everybody. Seriously, there is something there. It's great. Take everybody. Have a good one. See ya.